Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to the first of my 2022 end of season waffle videos. Yes, after 4 years of doing these, they still don't have a proper name. But if you are new to the channel, just a heads up, these are not reviews, just short videos where I give a few of my thoughts on how I think each team and driver did this season. And today, I'm going to be giving some of my thoughts on how Williams got on in 2022. Now on paper, it looks like a bit of a poor season. After all, they dropped from 8th in the standings last year to 10th this year and were 15 points worse off. However, whilst that will be disappointing for the team both in a sporting and financial sense, I don't think it's been too bad. For the most part, they've been in the mix with the back end of the midfield and haven't been cut well adrift in terms of performance like we saw with Haas last season or indeed Williams in 2019, even if the points tally says otherwise. They've been involved in some good scraps and have had some really strong weekends. That said, there is a lot of work to do over the winter and for the next few years if they want to start moving up the field. But I think they've got some pretty solid foundations in place. And they are a team I'd love to see get it right next season and challenge for points on a more consistent basis. The only thing I will add to this bit is that I'm a little bit disappointed to see the drop-off. This year was an opportunity for the teams at the back to make a leap forward, and while some teams have, Williams really haven't. I don't know, I just felt like with the investment from the owners and the rules change, they'd have done better than they ultimately did. So the team has been okay, but Alex Albon has been excellent this year and is one of my surprises of the season, actually. Sure, he's only been up against Nicholas Latifi, but he's raced well, picked up half of the team's points and has been largely very consistent. His stats for the year make for pretty good reading as well. First of all, he's absolutely battered Latifi in a teammate battle, winning 19-2 in qualifying and 14-5 in the races. And he also managed to pick up 4 points across 3 top 10 finishes. Teammate battle aside though, his average position in qualifying was 15.3 and his average race finish comes in at 12.7. Not too bad at all. His best result of the year, by the way, came in Miami where he managed a top 9 finish. He also took 9th in qualifying at Spa for a top 6 start after a load of drivers took penalties. It must be said, of course, stats are nice, but they don't always tell the full story. His driving in general in 2022 has been very strong, and he impressed me with how quickly he got up to speed at Williams and in the way he led that team. I had my doubts about him. I've made no secret about that on the channel, but I reckon he's done a brilliant job this season, and I can't help but feel he's got even more to give. I don't want to take anything away from him here, but it would be interesting to see how he'd get on against a more competitive teammate in that Williams, and maybe Logan Sargent will give him a run for his money in 2023. Obviously, that's something we can worry about in a few months' time, but overall, a very decent first season back in F1 for Albon, and based on this season at least, perhaps I was wrong to doubt him. As for Nicholas Latifi, I don't really know what to say. As I've already gone over, he was well beaten by Albon in that teammate battle, and his averages for the season aren't exactly amazing reading either, averaging 18.6 in qualifying and 15.6 in the races. In fact, that is a worse showing than in 2021, so it's not like I can sit here and try and claim that he's improved over the last 12 months. Although, to be fair, and I probably should have said this in the Williams bit as well, with the massive changes in the regulations, it's tricky to compare the two seasons. There were a couple of highs for him though, with him making Q3 at Silverstone and picking up a 9th place finish in Japan. But aside from that, I don't think there's an awful lot more to say about his season. It's not been great. And it was pretty embarrassing for him that Nick de Vries was able to hop in Albon's car at Monza and after a couple of practice sessions in total, out-qualify him and score points. Look, I hate saying things like this in these kind of videos because it really has nothing to do with what happens on track, but he does seem like a properly lovely guy. And I really hope he finds a seat somewhere post F1 that allows him to race competitively and have some fun. It just didn't work out in Formula One for him, and this year has not been great at all. How much the disgusting abuse he suffered over the winter had an effect on his form, I don't know, and I don't want to speculate on that. The only thing I will do is quote what Latifi said a couple of weeks ago about it all, and that is, I got over it pretty quickly. There were other aspects to this year that had a knock-on effect on my confidence, but I wasn't really carrying anything else from Abu Dhabi from the previous year. Must be said, though, Team Boss Jos Capito feels that it did have an impact. So there we go. I'll go with Latifi's quote, though. And if that's the case, why bring it up then? Well, because I know somebody will accuse me of ignoring it or glossing over it, so it's better to cover my backside on that one. And with that image in your head, overall, not a totally terrible year for Williams. And as I said towards the start of this video, they seem to have some really good foundations in place to build over the next few years. And with Logan Sargeant joining them next season, they are clearly looking to the long term. Don't get me wrong, there is a long way to go if Williams want to get back to winning races and titles in the future. No doubt about that whatsoever. But with finances under control, the most aero testing time of anybody next year, and the fact the field will now start to converge a little bit, it's looking positive. And on the driver side, Alex Albon has, no doubt about it, been the shining light for the team in 2022, and I'm excited to see how he continues to develop and improve next year, and how much he can help his new teammates settle in. That could be a very exciting lineup to keep an eye on next season. That is it then for my quick look back at how Williams got on in 2022, but let me know in the comment section down below what you think about the team's season. Now, I will be back soon with some more content, but in the meantime, if you did enjoy this one, then please do leave a like, as it really does help the channel out, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos or streams. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean, this has been the F1 Word, and until next time, goodbye.